Guess what, people? I'm back in the hood. No, I mean, I stayed here for, I don't know how many months I was here, but I was here a few. And I did walks in this neighborhood. And I showed you the trees when they were bare, and I think, and these are growing, they're babies. So anyway, this is Lou, July 15th. Month is half over. But yesterday was horrendous. I'm not kidding you. And actually, my legs aren't very strong. My arms either right this minute, so I shouldn't really talk about that. I need to tell you about yesterday's experience. I gotta not bitch, but damn. We flew on Frontier, or I flew on Frontier, okay? My sister had already said she'd never. My daughter just had a recent experience, and she said she'll never do it again. And after yesterday, no, they need help. Even in just thinking process. For instance, we're unloading the airplane. This is the last, not the last one, this is the last of the first one. Is it? See, now I'm confused. I'll just tell you what the part is. It doesn't matter. It might have been the last one. A lot of seats on that plane. Both of them. And I imagine there's planes out there with a lot more capabilities, capacity type of thing. It's weird to be back in this neighborhood. Things changing always would be weird. And that's that tree. I do scatter. And you guys, if you're with me, you know that. So, I hate to give them a bad rap, but damn. My trip was supposed to have an hour and 36-minute layover. And see, it's all a blur now. But it happened twice. Okay, I was going to tell you about the other. It's like 240 people or something like that. I was trying to figure it out. You got 6 across and however many rows and times that. That tree looks kind of cool. I'm going to have to show it to you. The thing I was going to tell you first was at the last, and that was unloading that plane. Okay, we are already, so I have to go backwards, but we are already way late, okay? The very first flight. They get us on the damn thing, and then we're on that plane for an hour. And I can't remember what the trip is, but that was before they left. So it was more than an hour. And people have, everybody has things they have to do. And sometimes we have to do it right when it'll work, Like there were some musicians on that plane. The last one. Was it the last one? Anyway, it doesn't really matter, but, they were mad. It was the middle one. They were, because, they had things to do. They had their guitars with them and everything. And they were trying to get us to go, which I did, go on a later flight, which was at 10:30 at night. And we were supposed to have landed already. Like 7:00 p.m. So what they were saying is we either had to, maybe that's what that guy was asking me. And so things go over my head, and it was a long day. I need to go back to what I was going to tell you. So they know that everybody's got these connections to make, okay? And they've got it just so that you have time to get off and everything transfers and stuff, and you can go. They had mechanical problems. Not on my plane, and I would say yes, fix that. But that should be like The reason I would say that is because there was so much that happened. There was many planes that had problems yesterday, and some were mechanical. So yeah, we don't want to be up in the air and have the plane fall apart. Came apart. No, that's something else. I was trying to think of something the other day. You know, like it was Kmart is came apart. I bet that's how that worked. But let me get back to the plane. This is the last plane. And like I said, they know that there's a lot of people on that plane, got to be somewhere. So, my daughter thinking that it was a good idea to put me at the back of the plane because it's close to the bathroom. Well, guess what, guys? There's a bathroom in the front, too. And when you're in the back and they are unloading, you have to wait for everybody until your turn. So they're all getting in the aisle and they're all taking their bloody time. It took us well over a half an hour just to unload off that plane. The people and their carry-ons. So I'm just saying, and I wrote it in a letter, if they were really mindful, they would say, hey, all those people who are getting off this plane at this stop, stay put. Let these other people disembark or whatever, get off that plane. And here we are, taking bloody well so much time. And I am not a young chicken, and my legs haven't been very strong. and I thought, okay, by the numbers of the gates, I thought that, that gate would be right across from where I was getting off the plane. So I'd just be able to just be real easy, go right across, But oh, no. It's way down there. And then you got to go another way down there. And then when you get to that crook, you go to another way down there. And it's the last freaking gate. And so they already got us way over an hour late, okay? And so the people that are there with the plane, they know what's tripping, but oh no, they can't wait. And the reason I say, I know, they're trying to get them other people to their destination. But I saw it all day yesterday. Several different planes and so it's like a domino effect, I guess. When one is affected, it affects the rest of them. But I was just saying, okay, I never did finish that. Here we are on this long plane, and I'm in the very back. And we're trying to get to that flight, right? And we're worried. So here's Mary Lou. I am bitching. I'm 71. My legs are weak. I'm not doing so great in the stamina department. And I had to have Jessica kind of finish helping me confirm. So I did not get a wheelchair, which is horrible to say I need a wheelchair. But what it really is maybe there's another thing besides a wheelchair. Because some of those airports have little golf carts inside. You can just sit in the back of the golf cart and it'll take you where you got to go. That's what I need to do. But see, I don't travel that much, and I'm not used to it as far as knowing what's possible to happen. Okay, I got to tell you that story. So, we're disembarking, that must be the right word, off of that plane. And I'm in the frickin' very back, and I got to wait for the whole airplane right before me. See, there was only a couple of rows behind me. And some of these planes, and this would be one of them, they had doors in the back, but they didn't open it. They didn't give people, not just people, but also the airplane. Because that's what I gotta tell you. So, I'm in the very back. And there's a whole bunch of us people in the very back waiting for our turn, right? And so, now in the front of the plane, it's become light. So what's happening is the plane is tipping. The plane is tipping. They ask us to hurry up and get off the plane because because of that. get their nose back on the ground. So I'm just saying, If you guys were thinking, not you guys, okay, I'm just saying, you would do that. You got people who got to go to all kinds of other destinations, and they're depending on that flight to be on time. But even if it is not on time, you could at least get them off the plane first, so that they might have a chance to make their other deal. It's not funny whatsoever. Yesterday was so long. So like the first plane, like I told you, I think I told you, they got us on there and then they let us sit for an hour before we could go anywhere. And then, like I said, we were late. And then that part about getting off the plane is real. They were, so if they would have thought about it, they would have just had the people getting off in Denver stay on the plane for a minute. Let the people who got to get connections get off of there. And then you would also have a lighter weight, more dispersed evenly, so you don't tip your nose up. Anyway, I just find it comical. If you look at it from a management point of view, it's not really comical because what did you do? Not you. But what happened? All these people missed their flights. They have these things all planned out. And I had somebody who had to drive an hour to come and get me. And so she's up in the middle of frickin' night to get me when I should have been here at 7 p.m. I was trying, when I booked that flight, I was trying to meet everybody's criteria because I got to have a way to the airport. I don't want to get out on the road. I got to remember, no getting in the road. At my daughter's place, those people drive really fast down that road where I was starting to walk. My grandson's, I know I switched. My grandson's over there checking it out. This was a while back. And he said, Grandma. I mean, when I got back, Grandma, you can't walk in a road. You'll get right over. And it's true. They zoom on that road, and it's just a short little road. But see, it's an off street. So they're saving other. There's the house. I got to sit down because I get excited. But I can tell you after yesterday, see, I switched again, I know it. But after yesterday, I must have a good heart because I didn't finish telling you. I mean, I kind of breezed over it, I told you. That here's Mary Lou in my condition, trying to go as fast as I can to get to my destination so I won't miss my flight. So, after I've gone a lot further than I ever thought I could, I'm going, I had to sit down. So, these people are not thinking about these scenarios. And maybe, they get tired of people bitching at them for the problem, and they're just the person right there, They are all the peons who are taking care of business, trying to take care of us, the customer. But I won't be, I don't think I will be flying with Frontier anymore. It's not worth it. And there were several people who were really mad because this guy, we tried to save money. That's why we went with Frontier. He says, I have spent $400 today. So I don't think I need to be trying to save the money to end up having to pay. But hopefully, see, here's the thing. The people that were in charge, I don't know what the situation is about vouchers, but I did hear a different desk, because they kept sending us to other gates after we were all done with that. I made it clear the hell down there. And they did not hold on to that flight. It was already gone. I don't know if it was already gone or they said, I know I gotta quit doing things, but this is driving me crazy. This garbage can is in the middle of the path of where someone drives. So I'm going to get it up here a little bit. And I'm doing that one-handed. Anyway, I'm telling you what, if my heart was not good, I would have had a heart attack yesterday. There's no way I would have made it. And then, Frontier does not give you any complimentary things. I guess they do. I asked for a little bit of water. And, you know, but if you were to buy water in a bottle, it was the same cost as pop. And nothing was free. And see, nothing's free anyway when you pay for that flight. They should treat their people better. So, I mean, I would have chose United or, I'm not sure. I used to think United and American were the same, but I don't know if they are. My heart's jumping up and down right now because I've been riled up, as my Papa Bear would say. But I have been riled up since yesterday. I did not lay my head down until 4 a.m. But I don't usually get a whole lot of sleep anyway. And I woke up after 4 hours, which is about normal for me. But I still amped up from yesterday. Just, I guess, the excitement, you know, and then the fulfilling and the getting ready. And so you go through all this stuff. There's a lot to it. It's not just a matter of let's go hop in the thing. The plane. You have to go through a lot before you can do that. However, I do need to find out. But see, the point is, I don't fly. I just really don't fly anymore. But maybe, just depends. I mean, I'd like to visit with my family. But visit and living with, I guess, is a different story, you know. But I do think about Aunt B. You people who know about Andy Griffith, you know, Aunt B, let's see, Andy Griffith was a single papa. He was a sheriff in a little dinky town, which is really a wonderful thing. But he was nice. I mean, he is the epitome of what a law officer should be like. Help your citizens out because they are who you work for. Instead of laying in wait and let's see how much we can rip off from the people. I'm telling you, that's happening. There's people in their little cliques, and them cops will treat them, people with money, get away with things. I remember hearing stories from someone who had gotten pulled over and still ended up at the bar, you know. Payola, I think that's what they call it. Anyway, I think they really tried to do something like that with me and Dad. I heard about it, but, you know, I don't know what that's called. Mafia meets the Mormons or something like that. Kids riding by on their bikes. I just need to pay attention to the sidewalk. And I know I've scattered from here, there, and yon. Oh, so let me tell you something good that happened with yesterday. I spent a lot of time in the airport and with people in the same predicament. Some of them have their kids with them. There's just all kinds. It was just really sweet, actually. I'm a people watcher. I can't walk much further. I think I have to stop here. I need to calm myself down. Settle down, as my Papa Bear would say. I'll get in the shade here. I can see the screen a little bit. Oh, my back hurts. Because I just put it through the paces, and I haven't walked in quite some time. Oh, let's sit down. Oh, now there's this thing over here playing. I can't sit here. I'll go sit on the porch. Oh, Anyway, I'm just not a strong person right now, and you do need to work up to that. It's nice to have a buddy, though. It would be nice to have a buddy to go walking with. But the problem is, okay, like me and Nancy went for a walk. I'm talking last year, okay? All right, so her purpose for that walk and my purpose for that walk were two different things. She's out there. Okay, so we start off on our walk. Well, you know how Mary Lou is. She kind of lollygags around. And stops and looks at the trees. If there were roses, I'd probably smell the roses. But anyway, okay, stop. I'm going to get dizzy. I'm in the porch swing. Ouch! Ouch! Shoot, look at that. I wonder if it came out. Well, I just got stabbed. That story that I wrote about the roses, I got stabbed in that one too. But really, I went to grab this, and I'll show it to you. Maybe you can see it. The railing. Okay, and then here's the swing. Anyway, I was trying to stop the swing because it's making me dizzy, right? So I stuck my hand over there to stop us. But we already have momentum going on. So what do? I stabbed me with a splinter. Not cool. And I'm not really seeing it right now, but I saw it was a big old spot. So it might have went in and came out. I hope that's the case. A lovely day in the neighborhood. A lovely day for a neighbor. Won't you be my neighbor? Okay, I'm going to take these off. Maybe I'll take all of it off. Really, it's the truth. 4 hours is about all I get at one time. And I do know that the older you get, or it seemed like it. My friend, we'll just call her my friend from a long time ago, okay? Her husband, who was deceased at that time, her husband was the branch president in Perryton. And Mom and Dad, see, I wasn't going to church, but Mom and Dad were going to church from the get-go. When they moved there, they found the church, and there they went. And I did not. I mean, they might have heard about me, but they might maybe not have heard good things. Who knows? Sometimes people say rude things, and they don't even realize it. I'm talking about my parents. Now, I wasn't there to witness that. I can just know from other experiences that, you know, they had their opinions. They loved me, but they still had their opinions as to me being lost and I went against the ways. You know, parents say, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? Well, I can't say that because I know I went wrong a lot. And unless I think about it, it's way back there. I try to just put it away. You just need to make peace with it, try to ask for forgiveness, and try to, I guess, help them too to get along because we do things because of how we're feeling. That was a Tacoma phone number. I wonder what the trip is. Because Tacoma's 30 minutes away. And here I are in Tacoma. So I guess I'll have to check that out. And I'm bouncing myself in this chair instead of rocking and rolling all night long. Mama's got a squeeze box she wears on her chest. I really never put the correlation together. And maybe I'm wrong, but I got a correlation. I don't know who did that song. I forget. I don't know the rest of the words either, but maybe they'll come. Okay. I just thought they were stupid words back then, but you know, I can see where they're not. Trip, 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 the things. I'm not going to elaborate. But Hello Kitty. I always thought that was for the little girls. Hello Kitty. But a new meaning to that came out the other day in my little head. And my daughter confirmed it. I won't say anymore. So some of these things are not just for little kids, they're for adults. And I get it now. I saw somebody's picture and he's holding out Hello Kitty. And I just have a whole new meaning for that. Smack him upside the head. But it is funny for that crowd. For those of the like mind of that crowd. And I find it cute. And I'd like to be that kitty. Anyway, okay. I'm here at my sister's place and I'm in the swing and I'm looking at the tops of those trees. I hope they can't hear me. I can hear him. I went outside to try to give him a break, you know, because he's on an interview, I can tell. And so Mary Lou, what does she do? I did come out here and try to walk, but I'm going to fall down if I keep doing that. But yeah, I don't want to interrupt his interview, for heaven's sakes. I just need a chair out here to sit in. And there's one in the garage, but that's still, oh, there he is, in the garage. I'll try to walk a little more. And I don't know, maybe if I open the door to my car, it won't go beep, beep, beep. I had a hard time with, they call it a fob. Never heard of it before. There might be two different things. It's a fob. One is, my legs are not going to work. Fob. Might be an acronym, FOB. But it's the thing that sets the, that'll turn off the alarm if it's going. And it'll start my car from inside the house, which I never did do that. I'd have to be taught that. It has to stick in my head. All I know is that alarm kept going off on me, and I kept pushing this one thing, and it would stop for a little bit and then go off again. And I think I even tried to I opened the door because I left it unlocked, and then it still went off. So that's one of the things I've got to figure out about my car. My car is so cute. As long as nobody crunches me. Meaning I'm going to be in Philadelphia driving, and there's just people everywhere. It's amazing how many people, I don't know how many people, but they're everywhere. Okay, like little ants. I was thinking about that. Oh, I didn't tell you what the silver lining was, the part where I stayed in the airport all day. And with people that you form a bond with because you're going through the same thing. And I gave a lot of my cards away yesterday. I didn't just go around giving them away. But if I had a conversation with somebody and they were jovial and it was really sweet and all like that, I gave them my card. So I wouldn't have been able to do that, right? Had it not been Oh my gosh. I guess I could go in the house because he's in the garage. I just don't want to make too much noise. Ow. You know, that's called consideration, and I got a big mouth. So surely he didn't take his interview to outside. Oh. Oh. There's Zeusy. Zeus, come here. I don't know if you can see him. I can't tell what you can see. Boy, I just was petting him. I pet him earlier. I'm making a video. Can I put you on it? Can I put you on it? Can you see yourself? Because I can't see.
Yes.
Okay, good.
You have to don't have glasses, that's fine.
Oh, well, no, it's because I'm on this side of the camera. That's why. If I turn it around, then I can see me. Anyway, that is Luke, my little nephew. How old are you now? Are you? You're not 18 yet, right? You're 17. He's gonna be 18 pretty soon, I bet. Well, I'm trying to not. Oh, I'm going in the backyard. I'm trying to not bother Philip. You know, like making a lot of noise if he's on an important call. And like I said, my mind flits around. And I bet if I went to I was telling him I want something for focus, the doctor. But not just that, I told him what I wanted. Oh. Anyway, she said the only way I could get that is to see a psychiatrist. Then they'll test me or whatever, and then have a recommendation. Well, here's the deal. I already know. I already freaking know myself. I don't need a doctor to tell me. But I think my videos prove it. And one time I took Joe. Joe is my ex. If I ever just say Joe, he's my ex-husband. But we were together a long time. And I took him to a chiropractor who, in my point of view, was kind of dumb. What he did to Joe. He didn't do what a chiropractor did. In other words, Joe was in a major accident way before I met him. And I guess he wouldn't have even been walking had it not been for that chiropractor. He was, from what I understand, more or less in a, I don't want to say vegetative state, but maybe, for a while. He had a grain elevator, the one that pulls you up into the air. He cut a chain that was a part of that grain elevator, and it came down. And he was on a ladder, but from what I understand, they found him in a whole different room. And the ladder that he was on was in powder. Is how much force that grain elevator came down with. And see, it's 90 foot tall. So the grain elevator was the thing that took people up and down. But you can, a better bet, it was, I don't know. But those grain elevators were steel. So it seems to me they would have a steel thing. I don't know. I really don't know. But the point is, he shouldn't be alive. And I didn't know any of this stuff. Very vaguely anything. And then one day I took him to the chiropractor because he was in so much pain. And this is when we were still in Downs. And this guy that I took him to is the one who facilitated in him walking and having mobility. And then you find out he's famous and that people travel from all over to get his services. They might come and stay in a motorhome. You know what I'm saying? When my dad was going through cancer treatments, they did that. It was 2 hours away, and I think they wanted them every single day. So they went in a motorhome and lived in a park that made it so that they could go and get those treatments, okay? So the same thing. What was I talking about? Because I've already done them for God. Still about treatments, facilitating. I don't know, I lost myself. It'll come back, but I'm not going to stress and strain over it. Oh, so the whole point of me starting down this path was telling you that I took my husband to this chiropractor, and I took him to both. Okay. If you go back to the one who basically saved his life, if you want to look at it that way, because he was a mess, and I wasn't around, and no one bothered to let me know all this stuff. But the poor boy, craziness, he's got craziness in his head already. So then he goes through that particular type of an accident, and he doesn't go through the channels to get what he's supposed to get. So he goes through life living with this disability on such a little teeny amount of money when he could have done much better. Not saying to do things like that on purpose, but to take care of yourself, because life can be a long time, and you can live with I wanted to say disabling, and that would kind of be right, disabling horrible, like nerve pain and all kinds of different things. There's no way they could even begin to pay him what they should have. But there was idiots who were attached to him and took advantage of him and settled for something little instead of taking care of the boy. Okay, so anyway, 2 chiropractic stories. One way back with that guy. I think they called him the Bone Crusher. I don't know. But here's the deal. I'd only heard about a little bit. And then this one day, like I said, he had already been in so much pain. And so I took him to this guy, because there he was, only 25 miles away, this wonderful, wonderful chiropractor. I mean, he even works on babies. He's marvelous, and I don't know his name to give him a pat on the back, but he's what Joe needed. I took him into that place, and I went into the room with Joe, and there's this, on the wall is Joe's picture as a success story. And so, I mean, there it is on the wall, proof of all this stuff. But then he's got him down on this, I don't know how to say it. It's an angled thing that goes like with your body. And you put your head on the top. Not totally like that, but you know, like the being in the stocks or something. But there's no place for your arms. Anyway, that man, talking about the doctor, he took Joe's hand and did this number here, and I go, pop, 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 all over the place, okay? He aligned him, he knew him, and it had been years since Joe had seen him, which he wasn't supposed to take years to go back. You know, sometimes you need to continue, especially when you've got that major of a problem. You need your bones cracked. Excuse me, I'm having an itch. You know what I'm saying? He's in really good shape for the shape he's in, but right now he's not in good shape. He's got major problems. But hopefully he will get help. But see, there's other things. There's a whole big old scenario of stuff that made it not my problem. And I took care of him for 16 years. Without the knowledge that I needed. I was in danger. I was frickin' in danger, and no one warned me. I find out, I don't know when I found out, but it wasn't all that long before all kinds of things hit the fan, meaning I got diagnosed with cancer. You figure out you've got things to do, and you don't know how much time you've got to do it, and just put your priorities in order, okay? And getting stuff, seeking for money. Now, if it's just to pay your bills, the needful thing, and maybe a few little luxuries, but the luxuries as a way of life, better watch out. When you have a lot, yes, I think if you have an abundance, it would be great if you shared. But here's the deal. You just don't put a whole bunch of money in one person's hands. You don't just buy them real expensive gifts. And yes, you can if you're able, but I'm just saying, if you really want to do some good in the world, it doesn't take a whole lot of money. You can spread it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I know. Everybody's right to do with what they want. And yes, if you worked hard for it and you're the one who took the chances for it and you have it, you don't got to give it to anybody. And the person that I'm talking about is given and given and given. I mean, there's no, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Because I know what I was saying sounded not so good. Like I told you the other day, the two words, the decadent and the starving. And it's a true fact. There are those out there just spending money lavishly on stupid shit when they could do something monumental for a lot of people. And I am not saying that they are obligated to do that. I'm just saying I'd like to see a better use of that money. But see, you gotta look at my circumstances and how I feel. Because I be very frugal. I'll use a good word, frugal. You have to stretch your dollar, and you can get so much more for your money if you be careful about it, and you don't just give it to people who are just gonna lavish themselves with something. I know, I sound bad. I don't mean to sound bad. I just look up the word decadent. It's kind of like a really wonderful dessert. Chocolatey, rich, which would make me sick from the get-go. I could only just taste it, and I'd have to make sure I had milk to neutralize that, which has no correlation. Sometimes you can make a correlation, but it's just that there's so many people. And that's a fact, isn't it? That there's so many people. Now here's a statement, and you won't understand it in its most simple form. Talking about population explosion and just only having, maybe, Jesse said, China's got it right. And I'm glad at least they have a 2-baby deal, if that's the case, because it seemed to me once upon a time you could only have one. And there you have a baby that grows up with no siblings, an only child. No. And I made a statement, and you guys will all take it however you take it. And myself, I don't want to die, okay? And I tried to explain what I'm talking about. But the simple statement is, if you would let the old people die and stop killing the babies, then you'll have what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to grow up and you die at a certain point. But our society has got it, with their scientists and all their technology and stuff, they're saving them. But a lot of times, I'm not saying that well. If you are to that point where you have been put in a nursing home And what you're doing is sucking money out of whatever thing is paying for you to be there. So for in certain situations, which I think are bad too, you have to look at everything. You know, like I got a house that was on the auction block in Downs because the people were old. It was a couple, and they had to sell everything they had and give it to the nursing home before they could enter. And I have heard stories. I mean, they'll save you, and they'll use the money that comes in for taking care of you until it runs out. And then next thing you know, you've run out. But the whole point is, you know, if you have a choice, the thing is they don't put all these little if factors in there. I'm going to skit all over the place. You people, my dad signed a non-resuscitate agreement or whatever, but I don't think he knew what he was doing. And the normal person isn't going to know what they're doing. And that is, see, I thought that would mean if you flatlined. If you flatlined and certain situations exist, then no, I don't want to be brought back. But that's what I thought it meant. But no, it doesn't. Also, in a facility, at a certain point, they just let you go, and they do not give you liquid. That's what they did with Dad. I mean, I don't have all the wherewithals about it all, but we couldn't take care of him. He had to be in a facility, and this was a really nice place. But when it came down to it, and this is the same thing they did to Mother too, they withheld liquid. They withheld their drugs and stuff. And so I'm saying, the time comes that you're going to have that type of life, pain, misery. A lot of times you don't have family and no one's coming to see you. If you belong to a church and you've got good, strong relationships, I saw that with Dad's people. They came out and visited him, people of the ward, meaning different members. And the ex-bishop, because bishops only last so many years, and then they turn over to somebody else, give someone else the experience and give the person who's been doing it a break. You know, he's done his thing. A bishop is the father of the ward, okay? And the bishop and his wife, father and mother, basically. And all the people who partake in that ward have different callings and jobs. And so they work together on a lot of different projects and things. But the whole point is, they came out. I was not there at the time. I heard about it. But they came out and brought him the sacrament and sang hymns with him. And Dad and the two of them sang. And I heard it was beautiful. But the whole point is, you don't have to rely just on this family you're born into if you create a great family. You know, some family we didn't, I would say we can't choose, but maybe we did choose from the life before this where we were going to go, and actually even what obstacles we will go through. We had decisions to make, and we made decisions. We made compromises. Some people did not want to be tested fully, having all their capabilities, to actually go for the gusto and risk losing it all. You have to be strong. You have to fight the adversary, and he's everywhere. Temptation is everywhere. whether it be to steal or to lust after your best friend's girl, or all kinds of different things you can't get caught up in, people. But you can. You go down a path that you might not get back out of. Pornography. That's a big deal. There's so much money flowing, and it's organized. And look at the way they've got these people dressed that we admire. Who do you think put those outfits on them? There's an agenda. Porn stars. My battery's fixing to run out. Anyway, if I leave you real quick, that's why. So I'm outside and I don't want to interrupt his meeting. My charger's inside. I wonder if they have electricity out here. Then I could bring my charger out here. Anyway, I do get carried away. Things are going on, and it's just the status quo. I cannot believe the outfits these people are wearing, and on the screen. And that, what, the Tony Awards? See, I don't know all these awards, what's what. But oh my God, people. And then these rap stars or whoever they are, and they got this girl on their arm, and she is in saran wrap for clothing. You can see everything. I don't know about her betweens, but you know, they shave all that stuff these days. So they take it to the extreme as far as they can get away with, when all that stuff should not be lusted after. You're not doing a great thing for the public. All you're doing is trying to get money in your pocket, and it's advertisement, baby. Let's go buy his record, or whatever it is you buy, your digital. I really don't know. All I know is I wish you people wouldn't do that. You're degrading your women, and you're pimping them out in the minds of the people who are looking and lusting after her. Whether they're actually getting to do it, I'm just saying, they're still doing it, right? It's in their head. And you guys are propagating it, and it's money in your pocket. And we just let it be. The kings, just because you're in movies, you might do a good job, and I appreciate that. But, you know, a movie is not supposed to be pornography. It's what the industry demands. Ha! I said, you can change that. There is a heck of a lot of people who want some good quality entertainment without their husband lusting after the woman on the screen, or yourself lusting after the man, and not taking care of your man and him taking care of you. Instead, there's distraction. And then I do see these pictures, and it's the truth. It's way the truth. There'll be two people in bed, their backs to each other, both scrolling on their phone. That is what they're doing 24/7 if they're awake. And I'm guilty. You know, it is true. If you're not busy about doing things, then what are you going to do? That which you love to do until you wear it out. And it means nothing. I don't know if that's the case for men. They probably will always be like that. But I would hope not. I want a good quality man who can steer himself away from that, who knows what happiness and love is all about, and how to treat his woman and her to treat her man. That is a sacred thing, and it's missing. It's missing. But I tell you what, I saw a bunch of that yesterday in the airport. I saw people smooching, caressing. They would back up and be talking, and the next thing you know, they were back there kissing them again, hugging them and stuff. You know, it was just really cool. So I'm saying I saw some great things in the airport yesterday. Plus, I gave my card away to everyone I had a really great rapport with. So when I say a great one, I mean an interaction. I went to go get a soda, and I didn't know how to use those machines, and there was a lady there and her child. And so after she did hers, she offered to do mine. So she took care of it all and got it for me, and she was just really sweet. And I didn't ask her for that. I probably asked her, like, how much is that? How do you do that? So she just did it for me. But, so she was sitting over in this one place, not that far from where I was sitting. I mean, I was in a whole different, around the corner place. She was in the hallway type thing with her daughter. But anyway, I went and got my cards and gave her one. And a lot of times I do say that because of your niceness or your happiness or whatever, here, I have a gift for you. And I gave him my card. I will say different things, and it's never a made-up thing. It's the truth. But whenever I have a happenstance that's happy, an interaction with people, I try to have my cards on me. I'm going to start doing that. So I just haven't been out and about. Well, now I'm going to have my car. So I'll be able to take myself to where there's people. And I'm not selling anything, although I could. But I'm not. What I am selling, I guess, is the good word. I'm trying to tell you there is a way to find happiness. And you don't have to find it in somebody else. And you have a lot to do. I mean, if you get this realization that there's this big picture and there's things you need to know and to accomplish, I'm telling you, those temple ordinances are very important, and you can't get to the temple unless you go through the other stuff. First is baptism. Second is the receiving of the Holy Ghost, and that happens right after your baptism. You have someone in the priesthood lays their hands on your head and confers, I think that might be the word, confers the gift of the Holy Ghost. They have to have the power to do that. Priesthood, the power to act in God's name. That's what that is. So when you have a lovely relationship like these lovers that I kept seeing everywhere, and I'm talking about heart love, okay? I'm not talking about all that sexual lust, but that comes with it because you just can't keep your hands off of them. And then to make it through all the years and still love them like that. And then I saw families that are just starting out. There was a man and a woman, fairly young, and they had 3 kids. They had a little baby, they had a toddler baby, and they had one, you know, a little bit older than that one. So they had 3. They were starting their family. You know, and you do that with a purpose. So you people that are doing things that are robbing you of what you should have, when you conjugate, make sure you want to be with that person. Make sure they're a quality person and they're worth having in your life every day. And that you want to make a baby with them. Because if you're not careful, that's exactly what you're going to do. So what, you got this woman who has got a child from all these different men. She might have 6 kids, 1 from each man. And she doesn't have any of those men helping her out. Maybe a little bit, but no. It's a very confusing situation for the children. compared to having a mother and a father that love each other and love you and have given you everything. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be giving them everything, but you know what I mean. Love, shelter, clothes, food, the basics. You don't have to have a mansion to do that, people. I mean, in the 1800s, they had their family all living in a one-room shack, cabin. They would make a cabin, and it would have a bed. It would have its fireplace. It would have the amenities, kind of, sort of. I mean, the necessities is more of what it is, okay? A rocking chair for the mama with the babies. A bed over in the corner. And then you've got your kitchen, and which is the fireplace. And then, you know, however many people. But I mean, that book series I told you guys about, The Work and the Glory, that is about Joseph Smith, the organization of the church, the things the saints went through. But it's happy and it's sad, and it's real and it's true. And even though I was brought up in the church, you know, I wasn't converted then. That was just what I had been used to and all that stuff, what your parents did. But that book series really strengthened my testimony. It brought it back. And when I say back, I can't really say that because maybe I didn't have my own testimony. You know, in the beginning, you go on what others are telling you, and also what sounds right. You can tell, and you can pray to know, and you'll get a witness. I mean, that's the promise of the Book of Mormon.